What's going on, guys? My name is Elijah and welcome back to the Goal Weekly Show, where I'll be discussing everything in the world of football from the past week. Feel free to disagree, agree, or add on to anything I say in this video down in the comments below. We got a lot to talk about today. Let's get right into it. Now, as you can see, I got my flag shirt on, you know, because it's the international break. Bunch of friendlies. I'm excited seeing how all the countries are playing together after, you know, they've been with their clubs for so long. It's exciting, to be honest. It's giving us like a look into how the World Cup is gonna be. Like I'm getting hyped just thinking about it, you know. Now, there were a lot of different friendlies this week, different matchups, but I'm gonna be really just talking about the ones that we really care about, to be honest. There were a lot of countries who, you know, had friendlies but didn't even make the World Cup. First up, we have Spain versus Germany. Big matchup. Germany is, you know, pound for pound, probably the favorite to win the World Cup this year, aside from Brazil. And, you know, everybody wants to see how they're doing. They have a stacked team. Their bench is probably just as strong as their starting team. So they definitely have a deep squad. They played Spain. Spain always has a solid team, but, you know, they didn't do too well during the last World Cup. But with all their midfielders, with all their young squad, everybody really wanted to see that match. I really wanted to see it. It was a good game. It ended 1-1, you know, not too many goals. It was, of course, a tough match. Very European, very straight forward, but it wasn't, you know, so much, you know, it wasn't that entertaining. There wasn't a lot of talking points. What we can definitely see is that the teams aren't really giving their all right now because they've been with their club so much. A lot of them are focusing on, you know, like the German players, a lot of them play for Bayern, focusing on the Champions League, and in Spain also. But for right now, the games are, you know, some of the players are kind of tense. They're kind of feeling the World Cup coming in. So there's not, you know, a game like that, it wasn't that entertaining. Now, the second game, which is one, of course, I was excited to watch, Brazil versus the World Cup host, Russia, 3-0. I was happy with it. Again, like I said, it was, you know, it's Brazil. It's gonna, you know, the players are gonna give you that feeling of, you know, this is the beautiful game, but it still wasn't 100% the Brazil that I wanted to see. You know, Brazil, the new Brazil under Pique, they're really focusing right now on trying to get back to their old ways, the passing game, and really using the midfield, especially without Neymar, the main creative guy in the Brazil squad. They really don't have that fluidity 100%. I think they're playing at 80% right now, which is still very good when you're playing in friendlies. And it seems like they're not missing Neymar too much. Of course, it's Russia, and they're not the strongest team. But you can still see some of the weak points in how the game is flowing. Nonetheless, I was still very happy with the result. It was a strong performance, and I'm excited for Tuesday. We're going to talk about that soon. Third match, which was, you know, a little bit more exciting. Towards the end, though, the whole game itself, not much to talk about. Egypt versus Ronaldo. Egypt versus Portugal. Of course, Mo Salah scored the first goal for Egypt early on in the game, but in the 92nd minute of the game, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course, scored for Portugal. And again, in the 94th minute. Now, he has 81 international career goals for Portugal, making him the third all-time leading scorer, which is a pretty big deal. But a lot of these goals, you know, do come from friendly. I'm not taking anything away from him. I'm just saying we need him to be the main scorer in the international championships. We need him to score those goals in the World Cup, in the Confederation Cup. One of the less popular games that you probably be surprised of why am I talking about this, but Senegal versus Uzbekistan. My thing is, Senegal drew 2-2 against Uzbekistan, and Senegal is a World Cup team. Uzbekistan isn't going to the World Cup. Senegal has Sadio Mane. They should not be letting Uzbekistan score 2 on them. No disrespect to Uzbekistan. I feel like the African teams in the past 2 World Cups just haven't been where they used to be. Right now, you really aren't hearing about these top players, and not even the stars, but the guys that are really solid that people are really afraid of, like the Yaya Toures, the Drogbas. You know, we still have the Mohamed Salahs, we still have the Sadio Manes, but there really isn't anyone else. Maybe it's a problem in the African leagues and the players getting brought up. Maybe it needs to be more of a homebred thing. Maybe Africa needs to, invest a little bit more money into these young players and breed them at home. If they go to the European countries, if they go to France, that they actually come back to the international teams. I was just talking about this the other day. One of the reasons why players like Drogba are so respected is because they went on to play in the European countries, but they still stayed with their home African nation. These guys need to find the value in playing for their home nation. We had Netherlands, who also aren't in the World Cup, versus England. 1-0 for England. Jesse Lingard's first international goal. He's been playing so well. It seems like he's really capturing the essence of what it's like to be a professional footballer. As in, he's playing well and he's also having so much fun. The dancing kind of gets on some people's nerve, but I like it. I embrace it because it's part of the game. It helps you play better. It helps you to be happy, to actually enjoy what you're doing and not treating it like a job. You're just trying to get stats, you're trying to win trophies. That's not what it's all about. It's also about having fun. You gotta,
you don't need to God as much as you want. Just really rock, you know what I'm saying?
Chile versus Sweden. One of the biggest talking points one talking point with Sweden is the fact that Zlatan is not here anymore. He retired from international football, but that's not an official thing. He can always come back. But the talk is whether or not he should be allowed to play with the national team during the World Cup. Here's my thing. Yes, the game is a lot faster. It may be too fast for him on the international stage, but he brings in the experience. He's a lot more mature. He's been there before. Every team needs a veteran. What veterans or anybody else with that kind of star power does Sweden have? Nobody really. So I feel like they should allow Zlatan to come back and have at least that moral support, even if he's not playing as much, but just being there, having that presence is a huge boost for their team. Speaking of Zlatan, he announced a couple days ago that he's already there joining LA Galaxy. He's coming to the MLS. And Alexis Lalas came out with this statement saying how him coming to LA Galaxy is really good for the league. Here's my thing. The MLS has this reputation of being the retirement league. All these players, David Villa, Beckham, Schweinsteiger, coming to the league at the end of their careers. If you want people to take your league seriously, not call it the retirement league. If you want young talent from other countries to come to the league, if you want American players to stop going overseas and actually play in this league, you can't embrace this as much. I'm not saying just shut out all the guys coming here at the end of their career. It does something for the game, but it's not the direction that they need to be heading. This is probably their biggest problem, is the fact that the league doesn't have relegation. There's no competition if you feel like, okay, if I lose this year, all right, I have another shot, I'm just gonna come back to the same thing and try to win it this year. No, there has to be a system where the player feels like, okay, there's actually pressure on me to do well because I don't wanna get relegated to the B League. Now, of course, one of the things that come with the international break is their new kits, new jerseys unveiling. Adidas, Puma, mostly Adidas and Nike. But we're seeing the new kits, how these players are going to be dressing during the World Cup, which is kind of exciting because everybody wants to buy their favorite team's kits. So we kind of get to see how it looks right now, what we're going to be repping. Now, of course, there's a lot of them. These are just my top ones. First up, we have Croatia. Can't really change the Croatian shirts. You have to have those red and white squares, you know. They kind of switch it up with the zigzags in between the squares this year, but I really think they look nice. And secondly, which is top three best kits out right now, is the Argentina away kit. You don't see black jerseys for a country, especially the high contrast that there is from the home jersey and the away one. Their home jersey is white and sky blue, you know, and then the away one is just black. It means business. Those kits also kind of make a statement. You lost in a final the previous World Cup. Now you come with the away kit, which kind of shows, okay, there's no games being played. We're here to get to work. And last but not least, my very favorite kit this year, Nigeria. Now, yes, it's bright, it's colorful, that green pops, but it's so much different than everything else that just came out. You just can't enjoy. Look at it. Look at that. The stripes and the kind of thunderbolt thing with the zing, 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 the cut, and the Iwobi just rocking that jerk. Come on, Nigeria. Now, Pique came out with this recently and said that he created a group chat with the Madrid and Barca players just so he could talk trash. Well, so they can all talk trash to each other. But he's essentially saying that he's been talking a lot more trash this season because Barca's 15 points away from Madrid. So they're kind of quiet in that group chat, and he's just having his fun. This is what it's all about. Sometimes, you know, you have to joke around with each other. A lot of people fail to realize that some of these guys are friends. Some of these so-called rivals are even business partners. Like, they really know each other and they see each other all the time. This is a good message for the fans. Don't act like you really hate each other. At the end of the day, there's a lot of money in this game. There's a lot of stake. But at the end of the day, why do we all love it so much? It's a game. It's fun. That's why you're here, because this game is fun to you. This is why I'm talking about this, is because essentially this is what drew me to it. It's fun, it's beautiful to play, and if we take it too seriously sometime and it starts getting personal and feelings outside the game, that's where we lose track of what it's really about. So players coming out like that and showing how much, you know, they're having fun with each other even though they're rivals is good for the game. First, when I saw this, I thought it was just as a joke. When Usain Bolt started talking about, you know, he wants to be a pro, he wants to kind of try it out with Dortmund. First of all, you're a sprinter. You don't play football. You can't just say you want to play for Dortmund. I mean, Dortmund's sponsored by Puma, Usain Bolt sponsored by Puma also. So I'm thinking, okay, you know, he might have a couple connections, but not really to the point where he can actually get a shot. And it happened. Like, he actually got a 2-day trial to train with Dortmund. Like, he was on the field, he was in the locker room like a normal player. Of course, they're not just gonna sign him right away. That's not gonna happen. Definitely, that would be super disrespectful to all the players who are actually grinding and trying to make it to a top team like Dortmund. So, of course, he's, you know, you can forget about him just making it to the A side. Not even maybe the B side, maybe, because we haven't really seen how he plays. We don't know how good he is. And I can't even believe that we're talking about this right now. But the A team, that's not gonna happen. Not anytime soon, at least. With that being said, that's the end of the show. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like. And if you didn't, drop a dislike, but make sure you let me know why in the comments below so that I can improve. Check out the social media in the description. Check out the music used to make this video. And I'll see you next week back here on Gore. Peace. Mwah.